Oh, amongst other things, kind of dealing with the proverbial bum foot, which kind of precluded me from going to Purdue Northwestern last night.
Oh, yes.
And from what I think I saw, and from what I think I ended up seeing on the scoreboard last night, it's like, yeah, I think I might have aggravated my foot even worse if I would have gone to that game last night from the looks of the score, at least.
Yeah, Purdue wound up winning barely, and they were losing like 35 minutes out of the game, and they wound up winning by 70-66, I think, at Northwestern.
That's what I saw. That's what I saw when I looked it up on my phone, like here in the early morning hours, or it gets to be a blur.
All right.
Yeah, after a while.
It does. Hey, David, thanks for the phone call. I appreciate it. Talk to you. 219-845-11. David brought something up here, okay? Adriana, last night, my dad listens to the game on WJOB, always listens to the Purdue game. First, somehow, I think right at 9, we had the wrong Simeon code in, so it switched off for like 3 minutes off of the Purdue game until Sam fixed it. So listen to my dad text me. What happened to the Purdue game? It's gone. Where is it? Oh, actually, it went off at 8 and right in the middle of the game, right? Mm-hmm. And then my dad texts me, who's the idiot who took the Purdue game off the air? So I apologize to my dad and everybody else, but we did go off the air for a little while of the Purdue game yesterday, and I'm not sure what happened there, but somebody had the wrong code in. 219-845-1100 if you want to call in and talk to me. But there are a few things that I want to talk about, and one of those is that we are entering into a war, and I'm not really sure what it means.
I'm like, what are we fighting about?
All right.
I hear some people say that it's oil. Some people say that it's the government itself over there. And then some people say it's a distraction of things. So I'm like, what are we fighting about?
All right, what would it be a distraction of things? What do you mean?
Distraction from what's going on here in the U.S. I'm like, tinfoil hat on, guys. But that they don't want to fix a lot of things in our country at the moment. So they're like, well, what can we distract the people with? War is bad. Okay, people will focus on the war, and that'll bring people together as American citizens. Now, that's tinfoil hat, yes. Some people are like, that's the most outlandish thing I've ever heard. And some people are like, no, it could be a distraction of some things, but maybe not those exact.
Well, I talked a little bit about, like, say, media strategy or public perception strategy. And it is really low for Donald Trump right now. Mm-hmm. He's, pretty much getting hammered down just to the very big, there were a lot of independent Democrats and Republicans that kind of went over that way toward Donald Trump. It's kind of whittled down just to the diehards that are, I think 38% approval rating is the lowest he's ever had and one of the lowest any president's ever had. So you have to, just from a media standpoint, you have to shift the narrative, right?
Yes.
You can't. The narrative is like the Epstein files and how bad you're doing or whatever. Mm-hmm. And that's what people are hearing. And that's why the one Hegseth came out yesterday and says, all the media wants to do is just point out everything that Donald Trump is doing is bad. And that there's some truth to that, to be honest with you. But so if you wanted to flip the narrative on two things, you need to flip the narrative on the Epstein files because that's getting closer and closer to like an Epstein class and showing how the rich are not being accountable for awful misdeeds.
I can imagine some classes right now in the education system are just having field days with what has been going on within the last, I'd say within the last 5 years. There's just like
5 years of what? What do you mean?
5 years of just politics.
Well, I think one of the things that Trump ran on, and I think it was and it gave a lot of people hope, I guess, was that, hey, you know what, you're getting screwed by the real rich class of people, and we need to go after them and make them held accountable and so forth. And then you have this child prostitution ring, sex trafficking pop up, and it is of the richest and most powerful people in the world taking advantage of young girls. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't even know how you excuse that in any way. And it's Democrats and Republicans.
Yeah, it's not just one side.
Yeah, and it's just coming out and more. How many lives and careers have already been ruined? And that's just this. We don't even know what's really in this stuff. You got to get the story off of that. If you're the president, you're somehow. I don't think very many people think that he actually participated in it, but he may have known about it, or there may be some link to him. And he's got to get the discussion off of that. And the second part is, Republicans are, as it stood, if they had the election a week ago, they would have gotten hammered in the midterms. Mm-hmm. And then the House would try to impeach President Trump and made him testify. And you don't really want that when you come into office and your family made $4 billion, according to the Wall Street Journal. They're going to start, to me, that's where he's most open, is like, man, how are you guys making all this money? Or is there a quid pro quo? And, I mean, once you start looking at all these deals, that's where the real soft spot is. I don't think Trump did anything with Epstein. He may have known some people who did. Maybe he's trying to protect some of those. But his personal involvement, I don't think most Americans don't think that.
Yeah. But
most Americans do think that he's used the presidency to make a ton of money because he's a businessman. And that's you have to flip that script. Now all of a sudden you know you're going to bomb Iran eventually. Well, do it now. You know, I mean, they're making a nuclear bomb. So while we're waiting, can you go to CNN, and there's a clip. Mike Pence says history will record Trump, quote, made the right call. You're going to have to play the ads before it and so forth, and then we'll do that. But in the meantime,
we're going to take a break. We're going to...
No, we're not. We're going to take a couple phone calls. How's that? Okay. All right, let's take one phone call.
You got to plug in a headset there.
All right, we will. Just take this phone call, and he'll wait until I'm done with the phone call, and then we'll take a break. 219-845-1100. Hey, you're on the air.
Hey, I've heard rumors that President Trump actually listens to this radio station time and time again.
I heard that exact same rumor. Why do you think that is?
I don't know, but I know you're in a hurry. But I just want to give a little message to the president in case he's listening. Mr. President, my mother-in-law is days away from acquiring a nuclear weapon. Her address is 1246 Union Street in Hobart, Indiana. She gets home from work roughly about 4:30 every night, Monday through Friday. So I just wanted to get that out there in case he's listening.
Hey, what do you mean with that sarcasm? Explain. I'm not sure how to take it. I don't mean the Trump stuff. I don't care about listening or not. What do you mean?
Maybe something might just fall out of the sky.
So do you agree with Trump bombing Iran?
Well, I think that that country was getting their conventional weapons so what's the word I want to use? They were building up conventional weapons at such a pace that I think if they were to acquire a nuclear weapon, it would have been almost impossible to go do what we're doing now. And I absolutely believe that that country cannot have a nuclear weapon. And I think... go ahead.
So you agree, let's go bomb them?
Yeah, I think it had to be done, and I think but basically, when those mullahs took that country over in the late 70s, they basically turned the Iranian people into slaves, is what they did. You talk about young girls with Epstein files and this and that. You know what they do to young girls over there? They sell them, and they let 60-year-old men marry them. So, from a humanitarian standpoint. Yeah, I think that whole religion is nothing but based on evil, the way that they practice it over there. And I think they should get eradicated, personally.
All right, so two questions. All right. So if we disagree with the morality in a country, does that give us the right to bomb them?
The problem is their morality is spreading across the world, and that's their whole intentions from the days of the beginning, the days of the Bible, the Crusades. They want to take over the world, and that's what they're trying to do.
So I understand the merits of the case and the arguments, and you've verbalized that very well, but you have not addressed who we bomb and who we don't bomb, and that's a solid question. Who do we bomb? And who do we not bomb? Do we go change the regime in Venezuela? We don't like what's going on there. Let's go over here to Iran. We don't like what's going on there. Certainly there's issues in other areas, Pakistan, certainly China. There's a different, where do we stop with that? And the second question would be, in Iran, do we put soldiers that come on here on Fridays and they get called up on a National Guard? Should they be flying over there to face live warfare?
I guess that you could question that about every war. I imagine, couldn't you?
You could, and that is taking the specific to the general, but I'm not doing that. I'm asking specifically, should we take a long look at everybody's framework at every country, and if we don't like what they're doing, should we bomb them? Or is the criteria, if they could possibly get a nuclear bomb, should we bomb them? And then should we put soldiers from St. John going into Iran and put them in harm's way where they could get killed? Those are all very difficult questions. Maybe we should.
I believe that us independently should not put boots on the ground in that country. But what I do think, all their neighbors hate their guts. All the other Arab nations are trying to civilize themselves. You got the UAE, Qatar, I think Dohan, a bunch of them. They're trying to get civilized here. Those nations need to step up, and if they're supposed to be a ground combat offensive in that country, everybody should go in there together and straighten that place out. I don't think we should do it by ourselves.
Okay, but you said we shouldn't put boots on the ground. You can't just bomb people to smithereens. At some point, some soldiers got to come behind it, and then they got to face live fire, and people are going to get killed. So fine, people come together and you bomb, but at some point there has to be some sort of people that are fighting this war. You can't do it AI. You can't do it 30,000-foot bomb droppers, and even them, they're under. They can be shot down, but you have to. If you're going to make, in my mind, if you're going to make the commitment, you got to say, hey, Americans are going to die. We're going to send them over there, and then you got to really ask the question, why are they dying? I mean, can you imagine
I just told you, we should not go in there boots on the ground by ourselves. It needs to be about 8 nations, including all their neighbors. Everybody needs to go in there and straighten it out.
Okay,
and
so
they need to handle, after that, they need to handle their problem.
All right, so we want to ask other nations to send us their young men and women and put them in front of live fire where they could get killed. So we want to recruit others.
It's their neighbors, it's not our neighbor, it's their neighbors.
So
they're the ones that they get a nuke. They're going to be the ones that are vulnerable. They'll never get a nuke to us. They're going to be the ones that are going to be worried here. All
right, hey man, thanks for the mental gymnastics. I appreciate it. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back on the Voice and Face of the Region.